Hey everyone, just checking to see if my phone I'm recording. It seems like it's giving me a message that it can't record. I hope that's not true. Anyway, it looks like it's live. Hi everybody. How are you all doing today? Hope everyone's doing well on this rainy evening here in New York. Not too cold though, so that's not so bad. Anyway, welcome to Dee's Wellness Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. I felt like I just did this not too long ago. But anyway, here we are again. And I always say this, my goal for these sessions is to provide you with information that will help you to support you on your wellness journey. I know many of you out there are, everyone's always trying to get healthy, right? So here to provide you with tips and tricks and strategies each time just to advance your wellness journey. So hopefully you get something from today. Today I'm going to be talking about why low-calorie, fat-free foods don't help you lose weight, right? I mean, for the most part, we know that a lot of people do eat 100-calorie cookies or, low-fat this or low-fat this. It is not the truth. So we'll talk about that. I am Dion, wellness and nutrition coach, essential oils expert, and founder and owner of Dion's Wellness Wagon. I support menopausal women who are struggling with weight gain, lack of energy, and cravings. And I know a little bit about this subject because I have helped a lot of women learning how to eat in a way that revs up their metabolism without calorie restrictions and frustrations, which are some of the things we're going to talk about today. So one of the major misconceptions that I hear all the time when it comes to calories, right? Calories in equals calories out. And if you've heard that, go ahead and give me a number 1 or a thumbs up in the chats. We hear that all the time. And it's simply not true. We know that a slice of pizza does not have the same calorie as a bowl of quinoa. It just doesn't, right? So we know that for sure that is not true. So I'm going to start with some of what I'm going to be teaching you right now is going to sound counter to what you've learned in the past, okay? But just bear me out and hear what I have to say, but it absolutely is going to be counter. When I first learned about fat-free foods and low-calorie foods, I'm like, no way, that just can't be. But it actually is going to be counter to what you've learned. So here's the thing. The diet industry has misled the public for many, many years by teaching strategies that lead to quick results, but they're not lasting. And so anyone that's been on any kind of weight loss program, and I'm not going to name any of them, you all know which ones they are right now, that puts you on a calorie restriction diet where you have to count or track what you eat, points. It's calories, that's all it is. And you may have known someone, or maybe you yourself have been on one of these diets and you've lost weight. It's been great, feels good, you look good. And then before you know it, you gain the weight right back. And sometimes you continue to restrict the calories, but you still gain the weight back. So we're just going to I'm going to peel the onion a little bit back behind all of that so you can understand that. So it's worked. It's worked for many years because it's a billion-dollar industry. They make a lot of money. So it's in their interest to continue to mislead people. And they continue to do that because I continue to see low-calorie, fat-free foods in the grocery stores. I continue to see them in people's shopping wagons. So I know some people really live by that stuff. And they really believe that it does work. And so, yes, you will lose the weight initially, but then you'll find that you're quick to gain it back, even if you stop, you're still eating less. You see, you've been taught by the diet industry, it's really not in your best interest. And modern science is proving that it's actually a myth. It's not true, simply not true. So right now, if you have any kind of low calorie, low fat foods in your pantry, refrigerator, I am giving you the authorization to go throw them out, especially if you're trying to lose weight. If you're not trying to lose weight, then fine. But if that's your intention or your motivation for eating low fat diet foods, then you're really doing yourself a disservice. You really are. So let's see. They say that if you restrict calories, you lose weight. Have you heard that? Give me a number one, a thumbs up or something if you've heard that. I certainly have heard that. So the diet industry for many years have taught us this. And while it works, as we say very quickly, it works, you see the results. After that, it goes downhill really, really fast. So let's take a look at why the eating low calorie foods, diet foods in the long run doesn't work. So the old school nutrition, which has been started back in the 1970s or so, tells us that in order to have optimum health and weight loss it's how much you eat, right? So they tell you that you need to watch what you eat, and in order to lose weight, you have to cut calories or burn the calories by exercising. You cut them, burn calories, and that's the only way to lose weight, right? So here's why. The body thinks that, excuse me, I messed up there. But when you do restrict calories, right, what happens, and I did not know this was like an aha for me. When you restrict calories, your body actually goes into starvation mode. All right, digest that for a minute. If you continually restrict calories by eating these low calorie foods and 100 calorie and 1 grain of rice for the day, your body actually goes into starvation mode. And here's why. Your body thinks that it needs to hold on to every calorie you eat because it isn't sure when you're going to feed it again. And all of this causes your metabolism to slow down. And we know what happens when your metabolism slows down. You really don't burn as much as you should. So who wants that? Who wants to be eating in a way where your body's going to go into starvation mode and your metabolism is going to slow down? I mean, that'll do its own work over time, you know, as just a function of us getting older, that happens. So why would we want to speed that up by eating in a way that puts our body into starvation mode? So that's one of the big takeaways that I want you to pay attention to when it comes to these low calorie diet foods. So every time you eat food, if you're on these calorie restriction diets, the food is going to be stored as fat. Now, really, so this is what I'm talking about when I say this is counter to what you've learned. So the very foods that they've taught us that are supposed to help us to get thin or lose weight is actually making us fat. Really? So we're starving ourselves, we're restricting calories, our body's going into starvation mode, and anytime we eat, it's actually being stored as fat, even if you're eating something healthy. Not to mention, if anybody out there has been on a diet or try to restrict how much you eat, you know that it could be pretty frustrating, right? Calorie restriction, because there's a lot of chemical reactions that are going on in your body when you do that. It's difficult mentally and emotionally to go through that type of calorie restrictions, counting calories on these types of diets. So I am not a proponent of any of these weight loss programs that's out there. And that's why what I teach in my program is how to eat optimally, how to eat in a way that's going to rev up your metabolism, how to eat whole foods that's sustaining and satisfying, and so you don't have to restrict calories and count every single thing that you put in your mouth. Do you know how much stress that is? I love to eat, so there's no way I could be on a diet because it just wouldn't work. I love to eat, and I love to eat whatever healthy foods, as much of it as I want, without saying, oh, I have to count this, and I'm only allowed one cookie today, or I'm only allowed 2 grains of rice. I'm just exaggerating, not really that. But the point is, calorie restrictions does put a lot of stress on us emotionally and physically as well. And really, they're not sustainable. Over the long run, many people, you probably know some people, they have to get off. They can't sustain it. It's not sustainable. So why would you want to start something that's not sustainable? What we should be doing, what I teach, is lifestyle changes and how to eat for long term. Not how to eat to lose 10 pounds to get in a dress for a wedding or a bathing suit, and then come the fall, you're back up to your regular size and beyond. That's crazy, right? Not to mention the amount of stress that it puts on your body to try to do that. And you lack the freedom to eat what you want to eat. That's just too much stress, way too much stress. And then, you restrict these calories, and then your body calls out for more food after a while, and then you hit the craving binge, and then you're just off the rail, because after a while you're like, I can't do this anymore. It's just driving you insane. And so you end up going back to your bad habits, like you crash. And a lot of times you gain more weight than you had before because you just totally crashed. You have absolutely crashed. And another big thing that calorie restriction causes, it's stress. A lot of stress. And even if you don't feel stress, it's putting your body into a state of stress. Remember, we talked about emotionally what happens. And your body is going into stress mode. And when your body is in stress mode or sustained amount of stress, your body releases stress hormones. One of the most common stress hormones is cortisol. And cortisol is a big culprit sometimes because that's what creates a lot of problems with our hormones and causes a lot of weight gain on a lot of women when those hormones are in balance. Stress hormone is a really, really big one. So if that happens, that's going to cause you to also gain weight and continue, and you can't lose it, right? You can't lose it. So what new school nutrition teaches us, or modern day teaches us, is that what matters more than calories is that you're eating healthy food, as I said before, healthy, wholesome foods that's going to support your metabolism and your body's ability to efficiently burn fat and calories. When you eat these types of food, they rev up your metabolism and they allow you to burn fat and calories. So I'm going to post some of what I'm talking about, like foods that you need to be eating in order to boost your metabolism. So I can just tell you, processed foods and fast foods are out of the question. Those do not serve you. And guys, you know the food that serves your body. I mean, you might say they don't taste as great, but when we've developed this palate for sugar, excess salt, excess processed stuff, it's hard to break from that, but you can break from that. And once you're eating wholesome, nutritious foods, cravings goes out the window. We talked about that last week. Cravings is always a sign that your body's lacking something. We went through all those reasons why you could be developing cravings. And so when you're eating in a way that's going to support your body and support your metabolism, most of the times you don't have cravings. And you lose weight naturally because your body's getting what it needs. You're giving it wholesome food, so there's never a need to diet. It's never a need to diet. And no one should have to live their life constantly dieting. It's too much stress. So if you stick to foods that are whole, and I would rather someone ate a regular cookie than eat 100-calorie cookie. For one, it would be more satisfying, right? For two, the low calorie, you're not doing yourself any justice, because you're probably going to end up eating 2-3 more packs of that low calorie 100 calorie cookie. So if you want a cookie, eat a cookie and be done with it. Get over that, move on. As long as you are not, that's not your regular daily eating habit, to be eating a whole box of Oreo or pack or whatever, or a whole bag of Doritos, that's not helpful. Not helpful to your body, not helpful to your metabolism. So I'm going to wrap this up and just summarize just a little bit more. Low calorie diet foods do not serve you. Neither do they serve your weight loss in the long run. They are quick, easy fixes that you get the results right away, but they're not sustainable. We're human beings. We're not designed to be counting calories every time we eat. That's just not how we're wired. It's not satisfying. It's frustrating. It's stressful. And it's just unnecessary. So if you do have some low calorie cookies in the counter, when you get off this, go right to your cupboards, and anything that says low calorie, fat free, diet free, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Eat the real thing if you need to eat the real thing, just not too much of it. Okay? And the other thing is, if you also have, I think it's called sweet and low, that people put in their tea and coffee, get rid of those too. That's a whole nother episode, because those have a lot of chemicals inside of them. So I'm going to leave you with that for today. That's all. If you learned nothing else, all I want you to know is that diet foods, low calorie foods, are not serving you. Stop buying them, get rid of them, and switch the way you eat to make it more wholesome, and you'll be doing yourself a whole lot of good. I'm going to put my free ebook link in the chats, in the notes after this video. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. If you know anyone that's looking for support on their health, please pass my information on to them. Until next week, this is Dion signing off. Have a good evening, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.